Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Well, we have Roberta Hladek on our show today, and she's calling in from Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't think I have anyone else that calls in from Las Vegas but you.
Oh,
so
I'm special.
Yeah, you are special. Of course, it's not the Las Vegas we think about. It is the same one, but you're not in the casino crowd. You're in the health crowd.
Yes.
You're different. But for those of people who've listened to Roberta before, you'll know that she is the executive director she runs the AIM program there. And I've been a member of the AIM program for many years. And of course, my pets have been the same thing. When you're a member, you get to put your pets on and even other things. But Charlie has been having a little hard time. And I did tell that to Roberta. And not knowing what was wrong, none of us knew what was wrong, but you hit it on the head. In your little description of looking on your computer and what was going on, you talked about the pancreas. And that's what he had, pancreatitis.
Aw. Well, I'm glad we were able to give him the tools to help himself heal. And I'm glad he's feeling better. That's awesome, because he's such a cutie.
He is, and he is feeling better. He's changed so much now. I mean, when he was sick, I mean, he didn't want to eat. He had his head down all the time, but now he's barking. He wants to be a part of everything. So I have him here in the studio, of course.
Oh, good.
But I do want to thank you, and I know that you've done this with other people's pets too, haven't you?
Yeah, and what we do is when we're testing, we check to see if there's a frequency that's not in the database, so that if it's not in there, we find it, and then that pet or person or anybody on AIM has that frequency to help them get over any challenges that they're facing. And my newest one is a horse. I got a horse yesterday.
No kidding.
Yeah, and we've had horses on, and we do have horses on. This one has been ill, and you could tell by her picture that she didn't look like she was feeling too great. And so the owners are not on AIM, which is funny because we always work on our pets, it seems like, before ourselves or our kids and things like that. But the couple wanted to put the horse on, and because she's having some issues. So we'll see how she does. We're looking forward to Winnie's speedy recovery.
Oh, my goodness. Is it your first horse you've dealt with?
No.
Oh.
No, we've had horses on before, and we currently have a lot of horses on. People have their horses, their pets, on the program, and we've had race horses on in the past as well.
I was going to say that could be really wonderful because race horses have great, value in a different way, money value.
Sure. We had one, it's been when Steve and I were in private practice, and one of our clients had some race horses, and he mentioned that the one horse wasn't feeling great, wasn't running well, and she had the potential and everything, and they couldn't figure out what it was. They had the vet come out. They ran all these tests, and she was 100%, but she was just not feeling it. So they want to know if there's anything we could do. And he wasn't quite what I call a believer in the program, but his wife was. And she was into crystals and all kinds of other things. So they brought in a picture of the horse. But the problem was the horse was in the winner's circle with a jockey.
Oh.
And so we told him we needed a picture of just the horse. And he said, well, just cut the picture up so you have just the horse. So I had one of the girls cut the picture up, and we took it into Steve to have him test it. Well, when we're testing a photograph, whatever's in the photograph, we're going to pick up. So Steve was testing him, and the owner was in the room with him. And he said, there's something wrong with her heart. And he goes, no, there's nothing wrong with her heart. And then a light bulb went off. It was so funny because his eyes blinked and he went, oh, my God, the jockey's in having an EKG today.
Oh, my
heavens.
So
we took the picture off again, and I looked at it, and where the reins were, there was a part of his glove, his hand.
Heavens.
And they hadn't cut that out. So we cut that out, And then we could test the horse, and there was nothing wrong with her heart at that point. It was the jockey we were picking up. So that's how the energy works, is that we're all an energetic being, and we can test that energy, and we can feel that energy. So when we ended up testing her, she was fine, but we were testing different colors then on her, because I said, well, what about color? Because we were trying to figure out, and it's kind of like putting a puzzle together. There's questions you need to ask, and since the horse can't talk to us, so we looked at colors, and Steve said, okay, well, let me try color. So we found that there was a particular hue of blue, and so he said, well, the owner and his wife were in there, and she said, well, I'm going to go put blue ribbons in her hair, and I'm going to have the jockey wear a blue jacket, and we'll put blue blinders on her. Everything will be blue. So
Really?
They tried that, and she ended up winning a race, and she won them a nice purse.
No kidding. Now, that's quite a story.
But, I remember I used to run marathons, and a girlfriend of mine that I had met, she said, she was an up-and-coming musician, and she wanted to give me one of her CDs or her tapes at the time. We were using tapes. She said, I want you to run with this and see how your energy does. And I got to tell you, it's funny that everything has this energetic thing to it. So when you hear music, there's some music that makes you feel good and some doesn't. Some makes you feel sad. Some makes you feel happy. Some
Right.
gives you energy. Some doesn't.
Right.
Her music, I could not run for my life. I was just dragging, and I would take it out, and I put in my other tape that I was listening to, and then I felt great. So it was just her music, that energy of her music. It was beautiful music. It just wasn't for me
Now,
for running.
that's quite a story.
Yeah. So it was funny because I would, tell Steve, I go, gosh, I was running to her music, and it was just draining the heck out of me. I couldn't, do anything, and I could normally run these miles like with my, fast and, without a pain, but I was just dragging. So he said, well, yeah. And I said, boy, there sure is energy in everything. So depending on, and you feel that too. Is there certain colors like that you wear that you feel better in?
Always red. My car's
Yeah.
red. I love red.
Yeah. I used to be really into red, and my cars were red too. And then I switched, and now I've had black cars forever. And
Really?
I was going to get a new car, and they pulled out a car for me to look at, and my boyfriend looked at me, and he goes, oh, we're in trouble.
Oh, right.
He goes, that's her color.
Oh, my heavens. Well, you see, and what about clothing? Do you wear black clothing a lot?
I wear a lot of black.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get away from it, not wear so much of it, because it's kind of drab. But I mix and match, black with something else. But usually
Right.
black is like the pants will be black or
Right.
something, yeah.
I'm more like that. I wear black, and I always try to put some colorful scarf or something. But, black is always, it's slimming, and it's also, it just works well. And I do that. But today I have on all white, and I'm running to white because now we're into the spring, and I'm trying to do that. But it's in any case, that's great. Well, let's talk about. Let's see what it was. A lot of the candidates that we're hearing now, the Democratic candidates are really. I've always wondered about their energy. And I know they're not a part of AIM. I have to assume they're not. But can you imagine if they got into AIM, what they could approach and what they could realize?
Yes. It would probably make our world, we'd probably all get along a lot better.
Right.
And we would be more conscious, and we would be thinking more about the world or the country as a whole instead of, I don't know, sometimes I think we get into a monetary part more so. And
It's called
I know
greed.
Yeah, I guess. And I think that I don't want to get all political, but sometimes I just think if we didn't have these campaign contributions and everybody just had to go
I
on
agree.
their own merit, then we would be able to, people wouldn't be getting paid off. And I know that happens. I know they get contributions, and and it's not for the good of the country.
No, you're absolutely
like
right.
You said, it's greed. So if there's any of those campaign people that are on the call, I hope they spread the word, because they could really benefit. Kind of like when I talked about my realtor who's been putting on her houses, and she sells them pretty quickly because she shifts the energy. So it's kind of, there's different ways that our AIM program, that it works. It's not just if you're ill. Most of the people on our program are not ill. They just want to better themselves. They want to have a better life. They want to have better relationships. There's so many aspects of prosperity, not just the dollar.
Well, let me ask you something. So you said that you're a realtor. So what, does she put a house on AIM? Did she give you a picture of a house?
Yeah, what she'll do is she has homes that she's trying to sell and they're vacant, because you don't want to put them, I can't put them on if they have people in them, because that's not appropriate, because then we'd have to get the people in the home to agree to being on AIM. But she has some homes that she was trying to sell, and she was having a hard time, and I said, why don't you try putting them on AIM? So she did, and it's $300 a year to put your home on AIM, and you'd be amazed. I have my home on AIM. We have our office on AIM, and it's the trees just outside my home, and here in Las Vegas it gets really hot, and then it gets really cold. So everything is just staying beautiful, and my neighbors have asked me, what are you doing? Why is your plants aren't dying and ours are? And I said, well, it's my program. I've been telling you about it. Also, within the home, you feel a calmness and energy. And so that's what she said, I've got all my family on AIM and everything. Why don't I put the house? And I said, yeah, why not? So they were selling very quickly, too. She was, having a good turnover. So she was very happy with that.
So she actually takes a picture of a house without anybody in it. And so if you're having, let's say, this sounds crazy, if you're having a car and it's having a lot of problems, would you put a car on AIM?
I have my car on AIM.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And is it?
I figure the more protection I have, or the more positive energy I have around me, the better off I am, right?
Yeah, so it's the positive energy aspect of anything that you're talking about. So that makes sense. So you either have, things that are people who are close to you, or inanimate objects that are important for you, because everything has energy. We know that. We don't see it, but we know it. It's like we have electrical power in our house. We don't see that power, but we know it's there.
Exactly. And we know when we flip that switch, it's going to work, even though we don't know how, and we probably couldn't explain it to one another how it works. Same with my car. I know that when I go and turn my car on, it's going to start. I don't know how. Right. I don't know all the aspects of it. And that's kind of like the AIM program. It works, and a lot of people can't explain how it works, but they know it works.
Right. And, it's especially when people are really sick, that's when it's even so important. So if people listening to us now, this is really why we do this. I have a very big, my motivation is to help people who write articles in the magazine, who advertise, who are on the radio. My motivation is to share all the good thoughts and the good feelings and the good things. And a lot of this is not on AIM. I'm on AIM, but they are not. This is not. But if you would like to do what I do and what Roberta Hladek's been telling you about, it's very simple. You just you get on the website, which is energeticmatrix.com or AIM.com.
AIMprogram.com.
AIMprogram.com, and see what it's all about. And if there is illness, serious illness in your life, that's even more reason for you to do this. It's been shown so many ways, whether someone has diseases, or they have illnesses, or they're We've talked about people who are autistic or have Down syndrome or other things. And it's, it's not going to cure people necessarily, but it's going to direct energy for you to make it happen yourself. Is that the way to say it, Roberta?
Absolutely. That's absolutely correct.
Because energy, I don't know of another organization that does this. There are a lot of organizations now which have really captured energy. a lot of health programs. They understand energy is important. In fact, I wanted to tell you something. The vet that I go to now, who's really responsible for clearing also a lot of Charlie's problems, is the only veterinary clinic in the United States that has a hyperbaric chamber for dogs and cats.
Oh, my goodness. How cool is that?
Right. Yep. Because that's, what that is, and that's a lot of energy, but it's also a lot of oxygen and all that. But when I told him, and you have to be careful, when I talk to some of these health professionals, you talk about AIM, they kind of look at you like, who is this person? He understood this immediately when I was telling him. Mm-hmm. So it was really a wonderful thing. He's quite an interesting man, veterinarian. But I really believe this so much. I wish I had millions of dollars that I could just take all my friends and anybody who needs it, just say, okay, I want you to go in AIM. I want you to go in AIM, because I just know that this is the right thing for them.
Yeah. There's, so many people that you really want to spread that word to. And I know one of my sister-in-laws, I've got a huge family, so one of my brother's wives and she's been on AIM and been through the whole thing even before AIM. She used to come in. And she had open heart surgery, and she's got a million other issues. And there were touch-and-go times, and she tells me that she knows she wouldn't have made it without AIM.
Really?
That she really did feel it. She felt the energy of it at times when she was not feeling great, and they had her, they were working on her with different things, and she's still having some issues, but at least she's alive and she's moving around.
She's functioning,
she's doing better.
Functioning,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, she is. And she said she knows that if it wasn't for AIM, she wouldn't be here. She's pretty positive of that.
So sometimes it doesn't work for people. We know that. What are the reasons for that?
Well, I really think that there are times when we all have a time that we're going to be on this planet in the physical. And I think when our time is up, whatever that time is, I don't think it's going to matter what we're doing, that we're going to go. And that's kind of the way I thought about my stepfather, because he was on AIM, and he passed away from some type of, I think it was mesothelioma. He was in the military. But anyway, my mom was saying, but he was on AIM. How could this happen? And I said, Mom, it could have been, he could have been on the golf course and dropped dead. It was just his time.
Yeah.
And that kind of is more comforting to think, because the AIM program is a program that sends energy to you, and what you do with that energy is up to you.
Yeah.
It's not up to us to tell you how to use that energy. And there's nothing that's going to make us live forever, and I don't know any of us that really want to live forever. I mean, if we could live like we are right today forever, that might be great. But as we're aging, the deal is with the AIM program is to help you live your best life while you're here. So to be more conscious, more spiritual, and healthy. That's, if we're going to live longer, I want to live really great longer. I don't want to be on a ton of medications and not be able to get around and just exist. That's not the way I want to be. So that's what the AIM program aims to do. So, sometimes it's just our time to go, and we wonder, like when we have a young child that passes away or whatever, you wonder what happened or why, and it's, it could be anything.
So let me ask you a question. So let's say that you do have a family on AIM. Can you tell that something's going to happen to that person?
No, I can't predict the future, darn it. I wish I could predict lottery numbers.
Right. So you can't predict that the energy or something there is not working right?
No, I can't predict that. No, and I wouldn't want to.
Yeah. So it's what is current, right? And that's what you talk about.
Right. It's just when I'm testing your photograph, I'm just reading what you're telling me, and it's coming out into an English language where I can understand it. Because inside each and every one of us, we know what's right or wrong with us. We know how we're functioning. We know when we don't feel good, but our body inside knows. So when I'm putting you on my tray to see what's going on with you, you're telling me, and then the computer is taking that information and bringing it to me in a language I can understand.
And so do you ever have to upgrade the photographs?
You really don't have to. A lot of people like to because of the energy. They feel that they feel more energetically current with a new photograph. Some people have lost a lot of weight, and they're happy about that, so they want a newer picture of themselves. Some were really young when they came on the program, and now they want to put a more current picture on the program. Like some of the kids, they'll come on when they're little babies, and now they're like 15, and I've still got a baby picture on there. It'll still work because it's your energy.
Yeah,
it's your energy.
Yeah, that doesn't make the difference whether you lost 20 pounds or it's still the energy that's there, right? That doesn't change.
It's still you. You know, your matrix isn't going to change. It's still you. It's like your fingerprint. It doesn't change no matter how big or small you get, how old you get, how young you are. It doesn't matter. That's your fingerprint, and it's unique to you. Same with your energy. It's unique just to you.
All right. So let's say that now someone calls you and they say, I heard you on the radio, and I want very much to get on the AIM program. What's the next move?
What they would want to do is we either can send out an information packet to them via mail, or they can go to our website and the easiest one is aimprogram.com, and you can look at our website. There's some videos on there that you can see, which are only about 2 minutes long, or you can hit the button that says applications and hit the application button, and you can complete the application right online, and then download a photograph to us. Or if you're not able to do that, you can mail it to us. A lot of people still use the mail. Or you can email it to us.
Okay, so what do you have to fill out in the application?
Basically, it's an application. It's 4 pages long, and the first one is just explaining what the AIM program is. And then there's your name and address information, and then there's payment information, and then there's a binding arbitration page, which just explains that the AIM program is not medicine, and we don't heal. It's up to you, and it's kind of just explaining exactly what the program is.
Okay, I got that.
And is not.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we certainly hope that people are responding to our radio shows and your really wonderful little articles there. That you do that in your dreams? No.
Sometimes I'm just at my desk and something will come up and I'll write just something real quick.
Exactly. Well, I did want to ask you: are you suffering with a lot of bad weather that we hear that's going on out there?
Yesterday, it rained so hard for about an hour that we had a little river running down our driveway here at the office. And it was very cold, and it had been starting to warm up. And today it's cool, too. Yesterday, I don't think we hit 65. It was very cool, and then today we're going to get a little bit warmer. But it was cold this morning for this time of the year. But hey, you know, everybody's getting odd weather.
Oh, I know that. I was just curious what was happening out there. Let's also talk about when someone has a child or is autistic themselves. What do you have to know about them, or is it only their picture? That same thing with the energy that shows this. I mean, if you said Could you look at a person who is autistic, their picture, and know that they were?
Well, when we have an adult, a child who wants to be tested for the autism program, because we have a complementary program for anyone with autism or Down syndrome. And if we find energetically that frequency, then we put them on what we call our scholarship program, which is free. And then they just, we like to get a quarterly report so that we can see how we're doing. I can see to make sure that I'm finding all the frequencies I need and that they're accepting the frequencies and they're excelling at it. When I do test the photograph, I do test for autism or Down syndrome. And I know that sounds kind of odd. You might think, well, can't you just tell by looking at the photograph? Not really. Not always. You can't always tell. So we test to see if that frequency is in them, and if it is, then we offer the scholarship program to them. Mm-hmm. We also offer to the guardian or the parent a 50% discount on the AIM program for them to come on with the adult or child.
Oh, really?
Yes, we do, because we feel that it's really beneficial for a parent or guardian, because they're going to be writing the reports a lot of times.
I see.
For them to feel the program, too, and understand what's going on and to try and help. Gosh, my phone, I'm sorry.
And you know it's okay, because we've just run out of time, and it goes so fast when I talk to you, but I learn so much every time. Roberta, we just appreciate you so much and all the good work you do, and thank you for Charlie, and I'll keep you informed.
Yes, please do, and thank you for having me on. I love it.
Always. I love it. Thank you, Roberta. Bye.
Bye-bye.